If you own your own house, your own single family house, and you got a decent sized backyard, or even if it's smaller, but you got a little bit of room, and you'd love to generate some more income, you might want to ask yourself, hey, self or Jay, hey, Jay, how can I generate more income on the house that I live in? I'm going to talk to you about it in 1 second. Hang tight. All right, thanks for coming in for another episode of the Real Estate Minute Show. We're talking real briefly, not in detail, because it's a little complicated, and I don't know all the laws, to be honest with you. I go to consultants for this, but we're talking about how to generate some extra income on the property in which you live. And it's a concept in California specifically, and it's in other states, but this is just for California right now, called ADUs, or Accessory Dwelling Units. You probably heard about them. They used to be called back in the day granny flats. Some people call them urban flats. Mother-in-law suites. It is a separate structure that is in your backyard, and California, in its infinite wisdom, thought many years ago that this was going to solve the housing problem. Well, it has not solved the housing problem. They thought people would build all these little buildings in the backyard, and they would generate tons of rent and just bring in all kinds of people to that would satisfy all the rental demand. It hasn't, but it has taken off. And there has been a lot of regulation reduction on this stuff. When it first came out some years ago, building an ADU was incredibly expensive, took forever. Permit fees were incredibly, almost like 25% of the job. The city didn't know how to handle it really because it was a new law, so they didn't really know how to prove it. So it was taking months to get this stuff done. But now it's totally different. Even as of January of this year, of 2021, there's been a lot of new regulations on it, which are very pro-developer, which is very weird in California for me to say pro-developer in the state of California. It's almost a oxymoron, but it does happen with ADUs because they still think that it's going to help solve some of the housing affordability issues and rental demand that we have. And I agree to a certain extent, I should say. So if you own a house and you want to build a separate structure in it, usually you think, forget it, it's too hard. There are companies now that just do this, soup to nuts. From you calling them and saying, hey, I'm interested in putting an ADU or a dwelling unit in my backyard. Can you take it from here? They take it all the way through to handing you the keys. I can help you. I can refer you over to those people. And there are also, I'm going to include a link to this video too in the California State updated handbook on ADUs. So it talks about all the different aspects of it. But generally what they've done overall, and this is just a little teaser for you, just to put in your mind that maybe an ADU is right for me. But they are little buildings, and they're not tiny. They're not like 200 square feet. You could build like 800 square foot, like apartments almost. When I say they've reduced a lot of the restrictions, they've actually reduced it where if it takes more than 60 days for a particular city to approve an ADU on your lot, it's deemed approved. Permit fees have been drastically slashed. They used to charge what they call impact fees, meaning because you're building another building, there's going to be more impact on the water supply and the electrical supply. They did away with all those as well for the time being. So all these certain exemptions that they have put in place specifically for ADUs on certain setbacks and other development stuff. Plus, you can build this stuff because they're smaller. You can build it all out of wood. I know the pricing of wood is way skyrocketed if you know anything about home development right now. Just because of some supply and demand issues, but generally you can build it out of wood, which is much cheaper than steel. There's a lot of pluses to this now, and the construction costs have come way down and the timings come way down. So it might be right for you, okay? Even if it's for a family member, a short-term rental, whatever it is, ADUs now are almost allowed by right in a lot of areas, and it's something worth exploring. Again, I'll put a couple links down below. Actually, just one link for now, which is just the California State Handbook on it. If you need to talk to, I don't want to refer somebody in a link. If you want to know more about it or get reference over to a company that does this, feel free to reach out to me and I'll give that over to you. All right, take care. Have a good week.